Welcome back to Cheese La Vida. He's back. Nathaniel, the bumbling narcoleptic of the internet. What up, dog? How you feeling?
My name's Ecker. How are you, Mike?
Pretty good.
I'm not Nathaniel, by the way. I'm doing another pretend video. My name's Ecker.
You taking that personal, Nathaniel?
No, not really. I'm just fucking around. When we do our political thing, I'm gonna beat this guy.
The political thing?
Yeah, like our political podcast with me, him, and you. I got a strange, a very strong feeling that he is a conservative, but kind of like Jeff Flake, you know.
Are you gonna crush him?
I would say that. Political views are political views. I'm not biased. I'm not a dick. If you got an opinion, I'll listen to it. If I don't agree with it, I'll say it and we'll move on.
So we got Nathaniel taking the high road. I'm not gonna lie, puts the damp on things. I can't spruce this up, make it pretty for social media.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
Call him out? This Saturday, 9 o'clock, Nathaniel, the wild boy Pippin, at it again, challenging the main man Ecker, the conservative of the internet.
I thought you were gonna call him a cunt.
No, I wasn't gonna call him that.
Is that too strong?
A little bit. In the ring for the first and final battle.
Well, then this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to give me 3 solid characteristics that describe you. I want our audience to get to know you a little better since you're erratic.
I am erratic.
You're sleeping on the fucking podcast. You're talking some bullshit sometimes, but we love it. We love it. We want to get to know you.
I'm not really trying to make people think I'm crazy because I'm not. You know, I'm just very narcissistic, and that's just a trait that I have. If you ever met my family, you would know that we are very narcissistic. We're good people, and we treat you like you're our own. You know, 1 is I'm narcissistic. 2 is I don't judge people. I really don't. I don't judge you by your race, by your religion. I don't care what you are. You know what I mean? As long as you're a good human being, that's all that matters to me. If you're a piece of shit, I'm going to let you know, and then that'll be the end of it.
Is that a shot at Ecker?
No, I don't even know the guy.
I mean, humble, humility, clearly.
I really don't. He could be the coolest guy in the world. He could be the new Jordan. Sounds like Jordan.
Oh, that's a shot.
No, it's really not, though.
Jordan follows me on Instagram again.
Yeah, fuck Jordan. Piece of shit. Maybe Ecker's going to be the new part of the Trinity, you know what I mean?
What about vengeful?
Am I vengeful?
Yeah.
No, not at all. If I was vengeful, I'd be in prison. No, seriously though, I don't judge people. Narcissistic, kind of like Tony Stark, but just not as rich.
Is that why you love comic books?
No, I just like comic books. Just the same reason I like video games.
So, yeah. Well, that's the content you enjoy then, right? You're a stereotypical white male.
I guess. A stereotypical white male. See, that's a funny thing, too. I never understood that. What's a stereotypical white male?
You tell me.
Is that is stereotypical, going to work, having a 401k and a decent credit score? I just find it funny. I don't like stereotypes because stereotypes aren't true. It's ridiculous. If you stereotype people,
you don't think they're true in the slightest?
No, they're not actually, because to be stereotypical is you're being racist. It's as simple as that. Like, so all white people have good credit. That's really not true. I had good credit, fucked it up. How long has it taken me to get back to where I was at? Still taking its time.
You want to open up a little bit about why you fucked up your credit? Is that okay? You want to do that?
Sure. When you want to start a life with someone, you'll do whatever they want. It's as simple as that.
Well, that makes it sound like a fucking dreadful thing, Nathaniel.
No, not at all. My fiance, when we got together, she didn't really have good credit. I've had good credit since I started acquiring credit.
You were born with the 720 credit score?
Shit, I might as well have been, bro. I had a 760 credit score at one point, which is pretty decent. I held that until I was 20. Yep, and then I started doing shit. I was helping my fiance out, get her on her feet, getting her, going on cars with her and stuff, or going on a car with her, going on a phone, getting her a credit card, Just opening it up. It's not like she's ever faulted on anything because she's held her own. It's just when you open that many credit lines or you're a co-signer on it, it brings your credit score down. And, and I understood that. The nail in the coffin was when she wanted to move out. When we moved out, I had a 695. Before we moved out, I had a 695. And when I got my apartment with her, it dropped down to a 510. Yeah, it dropped down.
That's tough.
I'm at a 590 right now. I'm coming back.
You're pretty open with that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's, when you, like I said, when you love someone, you help them out as much as you can, Simple as that. By the end of next year, I'll be back where I want to be.
All right, so we've just went on a huge rant, and that has nothing to do with the type of content you enjoy. So, video games and comedies?
Are you asking what my favorite video games are and which ones I like to play in comedies? Like what kind of comedy I like?
You're breaking down my question into.
I mean, let's stretch it out. Let's be real. So if we're talking about video games, I fuck with video games heavy. I like fantasy games. Big fan of Skyrim and Fallout. 2 reasons. 1, it's dope. Shit, if Fallout were to happen and I were to live through it, yeah, I mean everyone's dead and probably your close family and your pets and shit. But hey, listen, I get to fight a fucking radioactive cockroach. I get to travel the wasteland and shoot shit. Bro, that sounds like the American fucking dream right there. Just...
How long have you been playing?
Fallout or video games?
Fallout.
Shit. I got my first Fallout game on a Windows computer, and it was a fucking piece of shit. Compared to video games now, of course. All video games on PC.
What year was that?
Long time ago. I remember getting my first Fallout game when Tomb Raider 2, when I was playing 2. It had to be 03.
Okay.
So, I mean, the game's been out for a while.
Yeah, the series.
Yeah, but that's when
How did you feel about the new one?
Which one? 76?
Yeah.
I haven't even got it yet. I got it on pre-order. I don't get paid till Friday. I'm fucking pumped, dude. See, this is the thing about Fallout. So Fallout, the whole time since the game ever came out, it has been the Lone Wanderer. Just different stories. So it's a one-player game, and then you get to have partners, NPCs in the game. But you're doing it on your own. You're traveling, you're exploring, you're finding exotic weapons, you're finding missions. It's literally... you do what you want. You could play the story, or you could say, fuck it, I don't want to do the story right now. I want to scour the wasteland and shoot shit.
Well, can't you do that on Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, but Grand Theft Auto is repetitive.
Okay. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I got you. So the thing about Grand Theft Auto is, it's Grand Theft Auto. What do?
Same thing you do every time.
You shoot shit. Or what happens... Here, I got a better one for you. What happens when you're bored in Grand Theft Auto? You just... You do 2 things. You put all the cheat codes in and you fuck shit up, or you get in a vehicle and try to drive normally. Am I wrong? Have you done it?
I've done it.
Have. It's okay.
I know I have.
And it lasts about 5 minutes, and then you get very frustrated with all the red lights. I get it. So that I like GTA, but I'm not a fan of it. The last time GTA stopped, or when it stopped being good, was San Andreas. San Andreas was the best. I don't care what anyone says.
Wow.
The best GTA to ever come out.
Really?
Yeah.
But everyone loved 5.
That's fine. 5 was nice. GTA San Andreas was dope. Literally, the first mission is you come into town, you get your hard-earned money stolen from a fucking cop, by the way, who was Samuel L. Jackson voicing that. Dope cameo. Secondly, you meet up with your boy.
Even a cameo? I mean, that was like a supporting role.
I guess so, yeah, pretty much. You meet up with one of your boys in the first mission, gotta steal a fucking bike. Come on, man. Tell me what mission has ever graced a screen. Literally pops up in the corner. Bleep. Steal a bike. That's dope. That shit was clean. And first off, San Andreas was so fucking long and challenging. No one can deny that. When you had to do
It stretched the limits of the PS2.
It really did. When you had to do the fucking territory battles with all the gangs, bro.
Oh man, that shit was cold.
That was fucking hours of your life, bro. It was nonstop. You started that fucking mission. That mission was at least 3 or 4 hours. Running back from one end of San Andreas to the fucking other, fighting off these gang battles. I don't care what anyone says. Best GTA to ever come out.
Are you a Xbox or a PlayStation guy?
I have finally broke down and realized that the PlayStation is the ultimate gaming platform. I have had an Xbox since day one. When Xbox came out, I had it. I had the big fucking black boxed Xbox day one. But I sold my Xbox One and I got a PlayStation. Ultimate gaming.
When did you do that?
Like 3 months ago. I've had the PlayStation for a while, but I just finally stopped playing my Xbox. Xbox doesn't have any good games because they're running out of time.
Doesn't the PlayStation and the Xbox share games now? Aren't they like cross-platform all the time?
Certain ones, but nothing fun like GTA or like Fallout, you know?
Well, isn't Fallout like your favorite series?
Yeah, but it's not like I could play on PlayStation, I could play with my buddy on Xbox at the same time.
No.
You're not talking about cross-platform.
No, I'm talking about...
There's a handful of games, but PlayStation has the ultimate array of games. God of War, right? They got Days Gone coming out, which is fucking a... like a zombie game. I mean, every game has... Or every system... You could get a bunch of different games, and then there's exclusives. But, unfortunately, PlayStation's coming out with them hits. And everyone's like, we want our game to be on PlayStation. Why isn't Days Gone going to be on Xbox?
You gotta ask Microsoft.
It's a PlayStation exclusive.
How did Sony secure the bag?
Because Sony's fucking dope.
Are they?
Did you see a Microsoft TV anywhere?
No.
When Microsoft brings out a Microsoft TV where I'm able to turn on my PlayStation and my TV automatically turns on, then I'll talk to you about advanced gaming.
Look, I have a Magnavox TV.
So do I.
At my old house, and that shit worked with the Sony PlayStation 4.
Magnavox isn't a bad TV.
No, I'm just saying, like, you'd think it'd only work with a Sony TV, but nope.
No, I'm just saying, if you get the same product, it's like when you buy a MacBook, or like an iMac, you want to get an iMac keyboard, because it works the best.
So, we've covered video games, and clearly you like Sony. Don't really seem like much of a Nintendo guy anymore.
I'll fuck around with the Nintendo from here to there. You give me a nice Game Boy Color, you pop some fucking Pokemon in that bitch, or you give me a Game Boy Advance with a Rumble pack, boy, you better watch out.
What about when we're playing Smash?
Smash? I like Smash.
I think that's it?
Dude, listen, Nintendo's going to be on top of the world here soon. First off, they don't just have the kid games anymore. And they're not kid games, but I mean just the cartoonish style games. So like Smash, you got Pokemon, and you got fucking
Donkey Kong,
Zelda.
Mario.
Exactly. They got fucking Skyrim. They got Doom. Doom came onto the Nintendo Switch, bro. I about shit a brick. They were like, listen, we got Doom.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro, they got Doom. And you could take your fucking handheld device anywhere. Listen, I'm on a plane destroying and shooting fucking zombies. That's dope. I could go fuck up a demon. Dope. Listen, bro. Nintendo might be on top of the world one day.
One day, I mean, they were at one point.
Yeah, when the GameCube came out, they came out with the single-handedly...
Prior to that, too.
I know, but I'm just saying.
They single-handedly owned the 80s. People were like, this Atari's cool. And then Nintendo was like, no.
Okay. Hold on to your seats. These are guys over in Japan or wherever the fuck they're at.
Japan.
They're like, hold my beer. That's the definition of hold my beer real quick.
So, on the fence with Nintendo.
I'm not on the fence. Nintendo is a superior product, but personally, in my own opinion, I like Sony. But Sony and Nintendo, if there's ever going to be another console war, it's going to be between those two. Xbox is going to get left behind.
So
unless
you're
they
saying...
come out with something crazy.
So, that's kind of weird, because I remember there was a console war between Sony and Microsoft,
Yep.
and Nintendo was like... I mean, the Wii sold units, but it was always like... between the serious... I'm doing air quotes, hard as fuck right now, but the serious gamers had those two consoles as far as the console wars went, because PC gamers are a whole different breed.
Yeah.
But
they're kind of like the savants of the video game
yeah,
world.
so if you're one of those people, you don't have to listen to me talk about this. Nintendo was viewed as like lagging behind, and now you're kind of painting it as they were just chilling and
Yeah.
trying to fuck around with products. And now that, you know, finally people are deciding that Sony's probably superior over to Microsoft, it's like Nintendo's like, oh, you're done now? We have the Switch?
Yeah, so that's the thing. When Nintendo did their whole thing, they had the Game Boys, they had the GameCubes, they had literally, they dominated the handheld market.
Yeah, they went from GameCube to the Wii.
Yeah, crazy. That was a jump. No one had that kind of technology. Sony came out years later. I think it was like 3 or 4 years later when they actually came out with a motion sensor game. And they had controllers.
Well, they had
and it was ass. Why is it that Nintendo
Sony
is ahead
had
of the curve?
the eye thing for the PS2 in like 2002 or 2003.
Yeah, they had
or
the
something.
eye. That was to where you
Or
could,
maybe 2004,
that was
2005.
like video chat, if I remember correctly.
No, you could hook it up to the... It was basically what the Wii hookup
Oh, that,
was.
yeah. Well, I
Which
know what
is
you remember.
all kind of just based on... Well, actually, I guess it's not really based on Duck Hunt at all, since that was off the reflection of the actual box TV itself,
Yeah.
which is why the game can no longer work on any modern TV set.
Yeah. I guess you're right. But still, Nintendo dominated the handheld game market for literally 2 decades, 3 decades. They knocked PlayStation, they knocked Sony out of the market. That's why you don't see... That's why all the PSPs fumbled.
And
now
PS Vita did too.
Yeah, PS Vita fumbled heavy. Literally, they dropped the PS Vita and fucking Nintendo was like, all right, guys, drop the Nintendo DS 3X VR/mobile car. And
Magnum XL.
Everyone was like, Sony's just sitting in their office calling these fucking guys like, hey, bro, we live across the street. Do you guys really... Can you chill?
Please.
We need a little money for this next Spider-Man movie. Relax. No, but really, Nintendo's been chilling. They're a sleeping giant. What people don't realize is Nintendo fucking literally only has to sell the bare minimum because everyone in fucking Japan are either going to buy a Nintendo or a fucking Sony. And a good majority of people over there are buying Sony cell phones, which is popular over in
Well, that's
Asia
probably why PlayStation is already going towards more a all-purpose lifestyle type of thing, and Nintendo is just straight gaming.
Well, Nintendo's coming quick. They're coming out. They already came out with an online service. They're going to be dropping their new streaming service here soon. It's been rumored, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to do streaming service, especially since you have a docking system. There's no better console to do a streaming service on. They have a fucking docking system. You could be watching Netflix, take that bitch off and go take a shit and watch it on the fucking tablet. Literally, if they don't go through with it, worst decision Nintendo's ever made since fucking that Mario game that wasn't actually Mario. Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
So most of your content is video game related material then?
It's fair.
You don't watch much movies or television?
I watch, I wish I was watching a lot more movies than I did. Friday, I'm going to go see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And then I'm going to go see...
Well, this one's The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Crimes. I've already seen Fantastic Beasts. I need to see the next one. Super excited. First off, fun fact, I did not know they were gay. I did not know Dumbledore was homosexual.
I mean, okay.
Didn't know. I should have caught it with the neck pearls, but...
Thought everyone knew by now.
Shit.
She came out a while ago and said that.
No, my fiance hit me with, do you know Dumbledore's gay? And I was like, Fucking, you could have beat me with a dead stick and I wouldn't have known. You want to know why? I was too focused on Harry Potter getting fucked up and then that crazy battle between him and fucking...
The story.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about
Bullshit.
people's sexuality. I was worried about Harry getting fucking...
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't even care about really any of the romances in those books. Like, people were always like, oh, Ron and Hermione getting together, and I'd be like, who cares? We gotta fucking kill Voldemort.
Right, this motherfucker's killing people. Let's do this. Blew my mind with, get away from my daughter, you bitch.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah. After I read the book and then I saw it in the movies, I know the books are always better than the movies.
So you do read?
I do. But to get an actual physical picture and not something I'm imagining was the best experience of my life.
Favorite book?
My favorite all-time book? Lord of the Flies.
That's a pretty great book.
Yeah.
I had to read that for AP English. I'm pretty sure I read it before that, though, in like maybe 7th grade or something. My personal favorite's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
It's a good book.
Book's better than the movie.
No, by far.
Movie's pretty great, though. Love Jack Nicholson, but that's not what I picture when I think of McMurphy.
No. I mean, who can you picture, though? James Woods, maybe.
No one. A big, lumbering Irishman that's only a figment of my imagination. Which is why I think it's best as a book.
It's fair.
I mean, plus the
It was a good
Native
movie,
American
though.
narrator is completely unreliable. He's like literally crazy. He suffers hallucinations, so you're not sure what's actually happening at times in the book. It's great. Is reading something you like doing, though? Like,
Yes.
Do you read often?
I have to be drawn in by a book. If a book doesn't fit my personality, I won't read it. I won't give it the time of day. I don't do the check out the back of the cover and read that. So what I'll do is I'll open the book and I'll read the first 10 pages, and if it doesn't grasp me, then I won't read it. There's a book series that I've been reading forever, and it's still going on. So what I like when I was younger and to this day is books that relate to me. So Lord of the Flies. Now imagine Lord of the Flies, right? But in kind of like a world where all the parents turn into zombies. So they're not zombies, but everybody over the age of 18 start to lose their brain. And it starts to deteriorate until they turn into these like cannibalistic humanoids. Right, and
it's just deconstructing humanity.
Exactly, and the only people left alive are the kids. Now, anybody from the point on to after the disease spread, they don't turn into a monster. So, most of the kids you meet in the book are anywhere from 5 to 17, right? And reading the book, I think it was book 6. There was a character named Shadow, right? And he was a loner, right? And he wore a black cloak and he carried a crossbow.
Okay.
Right? So he goes to this town, and this town is run by this, ironically, this like 16-year-old Irish bully. Who they introduce you to this kid. He just broke out of a fucking storm cellar from a liquor store and he had a case of beer.
Okay.
Right? And they're
me.
describing this little tent town where there's children having babies. Yeah, and they're describing the smell of the place, the feel of the place, and it's fucking crazy.
That's kind of like our South Park review, season 4, wacky molestation adventure.
Yeah. Yep.
Town's just gone to shit.
Right. Something for me, like, I used to be a doomsday prepper, and I know that shit's stupid now, because if shit hits the fan, I just call it a day, grab my shit, get my family, and go where I need to go, and if anyone stands in my way, you're getting a bullet between your eyes. But I used to like those kinds of books because it related to what I was doing when I was at that age. I know it sounds crazy. Why is a 15-year-old prepping for doomsday? Well, I was very...
Easily manipulated?
No, I was gullible. I'd watch. I mean, you would watch those TVs, those doomsday preppers. You watch the news. You know what I mean? It's just shit like that, dude. You see stuff going on when you're a kid, and you want to make
sucked into it.
right. And being a man, for some reason, I thought it's like, wow. It's like, okay, if this were to happen tomorrow, I want to know how to use a gun. I want to know how to start a fire. I want to know how to fish. I want to know how to hunt. And I would pack up a fucking 72-hour bag is what it's called. I still have one. Everyone should have one of those. It's called a 72-hour bag.
What comes in the 72-hour
So a 72-hour bag is an emergency bag in case there's any type of disaster. 72-hour bag, you have your passports, you have extra IDs, you have documentation, important shit. You have fresh underwear, fresh socks, you have maybe some MREs, you know, just in case you need food and you can't.
First aid kit?
First aid kit, water, iodine tablets, shit like that. You know,
in case of emergency.
Yeah, so if, you know, you take it on a camping trip and you carry it in a backpack, if you get lost and you're out in the middle of the fucking woods, okay, well, in my backpack I have I have 2 MREs. Okay, this is going to last me 3 days if I ration it. So I ration these out. I have fishing wire and fishing hooks. I could go fishing.
Where do you set up shelter?
I guess wherever is comfortable.
No tent?
No, I don't carry a tent. I mean, anything you need to make a shelter, if you're stuck out in the fucking woods, you can make one.
Are you bringing an axe for lumber?
Well, I mean, technically you don't even have to do that. Brush would work perfectly fine. You break off twigs, you find some, you stick them in the ground and you just kind of stack.
You like going through nature?
Yeah, it's fine. I enjoy being outside.
I mean, it sounds like you're out there making forts and shit.
Well, no, I mean, if I were to be, I'm not gonna say I'm a fucking survivalist or I would survive, but if I was stranded out in the middle of the woods, I would last a good while.
Are you out there mudding?
No, that's dumb. That's
so you're not.
shit.
So you're not a good old boy.
No.
No. Okay.
I'm just a smart person.
You just like nature.
I prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
That's fair. What other things do you like doing? I mean, what other hobbies would you say you have?
I'm an avid gun collector, if anyone hasn't noticed. I'm not going to say how many guns I have, but...
It's probably best not to flaunt that number.
Yeah, that's not a number I
Probably
want.
best not to brag about being a registered gun owner, honestly.
No,
I mean,
there's nothing wrong
there's
with
nothing wrong with saying it, but, you know, you don't want to be that guy, I got fucking guns, you know?
No, I'm not like that. ATF knows what I got, that's all that matters. You know?
Feel very strongly about the gun laws.
It all depends, man.
Is it true that you made a song about that?
Yeah. So the thing about guns, too, anybody who's never had a gun before, personally, I believe it's every person's right, as long as you haven't lost that right, to keep the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is our stronghold for every other law in our Constitution. Now, granted, back in the day, it may have been more necessary for people to own firearms. Today, it is still necessary, but we need to take extra steps. The Second Amendment is a right as much as it is a privilege.
So, in your view, what constitutes taking away that privilege?
If you're a murderer, if you're a rapist.
So
if
you're
you
going
murder
straight
someone,
to felonies.
Yeah.
You think that law is fine?
Logical felonies. So if, hey, I had a beer and I was blah, 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 1 beer 6 hours ago and the cop blew me over and I got a DUI. That's ridiculous. I think you should serve your time, probation, pay an expungement fee because you did drive with alcohol in your system. Mm-hmm. You should be able to pay an expungement fee for certain types of crimes. Now, if we got a 21-year-old person, whatever the color, whatever the race, whatever the age, let's say he went to prison for having a baggie of weed. Okay, listen, dude, why do we have a baggie of weed on you?
Well, it's legal in Michigan now.
It is. I smoke weed recreationally. Do you have firearms? Okay. Smoke or carry a firearm or use firearms? Well, no. Okay, well, don't do those things within a 24-hour time period. I don't think anyone who goes to jail for a little bit of weed should have their rights taken away. That's asinine. Weed was not created in a fucking skillet. Weed was not created with battery acid. Weed was given to us by God. If that wasn't the case, it wouldn't have came out of the fucking ground. If anybody wants to express their Second Amendment rights, I fully support them 100%, as long as they're not a piece of shit. Now that goes for extremist or hate groups. I don't fuck with you. If you are purposely stacking up guns and ammunition because you don't like another group's race or religion, then you are clearly a part of the problem. Now, let's say you guys are just a bunch of fuckholes that collect it and never do anything with it. Keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear about it. Same for any side who wants to do that. Now, we have the right to keep and bear arms for protection purposes, to protect ourselves from tyranny, to protect our land, to protect our property, and protect our family. That being said, you want to carry a gun, take the proper training course, do that. I think anybody who wants to own a gun, you should legally have to buy a safe. That is simple as that. If I buy a shotgun, you need a safe.
And you said you did make a song about all this?
Well, I made a song about a few things, or about the Second Amendment and all this, political stuff, but I never got into this in depth about it.
So you would say any song or album you've put out is an accurate representation?
No, it's an accurate representation. No, it is, but people change and people advance, and my viewpoints change just like anything. If I hear something and I start to study it more, and it seems logical to me, that's called evolution. You evolve as a human being. Your personality evolves.
Are you dismissive of your music?
No.
Are you shying away from any questions about that? Since it has your political views and you haven't even told us the name of your album.
Constitution. Listen to it. It's pretty straightforward. You could definitely hear and see what I'm talking about in my music. I'm not a piece of shit. I'm just pretty open and honest about it. I talk about politicians. I talk about hate groups. I talk about everything. Like I said before, I'm a constitutionalist. What's in the Constitution is because when we put people in charge, they had our best interest in us. That may not be the case anymore, but back in the day they did. So even the new constitutional laws that are in the Constitution and are ratified and are law now stay. That is simple as that. So Trump's idea of stopping what they call anchor baby, which is a really shitty term for that. If a woman comes across United States lines and she's pregnant,
since you can trace your family back to anyone
pretty
who's
much
come over and just had a baby so that they can be born in America. That's the whole point of why America was created, supposedly.
No, of course. You come over to the United States.
I should say theoretically, if I don't want to be a dick about it.
No, it's not theoretical. It's a fact. Now, we are a country of immigrants. Yes, we are a country of legal immigrants, but nevertheless, we're a country of immigrants. Now, if a woman comes over here and she has a child, and that child is born on United States soil, I do not care what anyone says. Your child just became a United States citizen, and that's simple as that.
Welcome to the team.
Exactly. Honestly, that is something that I, personally as a taxpayer, do not care about. I love that. Because then you have a child that lives in the United States and dual citizenship. So let's think of it like this from this perspective. So let's say we have a child from Mexico who is born on United States soil. Yes, the mother has the right to stay here until the child is of legal age. Now, do I believe that whole family should be able to come over? No. Should it be easier for her family to become legal citizens? Yes. Given that right, that child that just came over the border, 20 years from now, he could cure cancer. He could be the next president. He could fucking figure out a cure for Alzheimer's. We don't know. That's why I'm so strongly against abortion. In certain stances, of course.
You enjoy political debates and conversations, and
yeah, when someone's not being an asshole.
And you're not afraid of putting that in your music, clearly.
Not at all.
What got you wanting to even make music? Are you strongly into it?
I'm into it. I wish I was able to do more of it, but unfortunately, life grabs you by the balls sometimes, you know, and you can't do everything you want to. And unfortunately, that's the sad truth about becoming a grown-up, you know. I don't want to be a fucking grown-up, man.
A grown-up.
I want to be a kid again, dude.
You,
I got a fucking
you're
car
talking
payment.
like a kid. You said grown-up.
I really do. It sucks. I mean, it's not a bad thing to be an adult. I want to move on with the future. But it's like, you know, I miss the times where I could stay up until 4 in the morning. I could do music whenever I wanted to. You know, I could do what I want, but that's not how life works.
Speaking of your childhood, what about some early influences on whatever got you onto this video game playing, political thinking path?
I was a shut-in. Besides when I was hanging out with Mike and Jeff and Jordan and all those guys. I really didn't do much. I was bullied in school. It's how it was. From elementary to middle school, it's how it went, you know. So I kind of just became reclusive and stayed to myself besides when I was hanging out with them. And then when I got in high school, you know, freshman year was kind of the same thing. And then sophomore year was kind of like, you know. But junior year and senior year is when I peaked at my prosperity with, you know, I was kind of like, hey, fuck this shit, dude.
Freshman year wasn't bad for you.
Freshman year wasn't bad, but it's just like I
for you.
wasn't getting any ass or anything. And
No, but that's when you...
I got lit. I became a horrible human being. For when I got into high school, dude, everyone fucking... I felt like I was a loser, but everyone loved me. I really... And I don't mean to sound self-centered, but literally everyone loved me.
Bro. I don't know what it was about that time period, but you had this fucking...
I had this charisma.
It was the same time when swag was a cool word. So like I don't know, you just adopted swag or something, bro.
It's like
you had that charisma.
I sweated swag.
It was that time. I don't know why, but it was totally the time for whatever you were.
I was the fat guy with confidence. I made everyone laugh, bro. And I smoked weed and I would smoke cigarettes. I'd literally be like, I would get in the car, right?
And like, just prior to this, you hadn't done any of this.
Yeah, no, I hadn't done any of this prior to high school. I get into high school and I adopted this whole persona about myself. Literally, I'd be walking to school, right? And there would be the Nazi security guard lady. We called her the Nazi, or the parking lot Nazi, because she was ruthless, bro. Literally, if she was a part of fucking Hitler's regime, they probably would have won the war, unfortunately. She was ruthless. We could be sneezing in the parking lot, and she would be flying up like it was fucking Tokyo Drift on us, writing a paper citation for $5. I didn't give a fuck, dude. I adopted this persona. I'd be walking up into the doors smoking a cigarette, and I'd flick that shit. When teachers could be walking up, I don't give a shit, dude. I didn't give a shit at the time.
Didn't you have like a 0.5, 0.8 GPA?
Freshman year, I had a 0.3 GPA. Listen, there's 360, how many days in it? 364?
In a year? 365 days.
Listen, I missed 176 days of school. 176. Listen, I'm in class one day, surprisingly. I get a call from my fucking principal over the PA. Nathaniel Pippin, please report to the office. I get down there, right, and I could taste it and I could sense it when I walked in, bro. I'm like, my father's here. I sensed it. If you ever met my father, you would know. I could smell him. And it's not that he smelled bad, it's just I could taste the air. And I could see everyone's face.
I can feel it coming
right.
in the air tonight.
My dad went to John Glenn, and all the teachers and secretaries were there. They knew the Pippin name. They knew all my sisters. I walked into the back room. My dad's like, take a seat. I'm like, shit. I sit down. The principal pulls out all my lates and my missing days. 176 missing days, and I had like 200 tardies. Shit was bad. Fucking, then the principal was talking down to my dad, and my dad's like, step out really quick, and all we hear is screaming and yelling, and he opens the door, and the principal's like, can you come back in here, Mr. Pippin? And he's like, what we're gonna do for you is, and he's like, I'm not trying to do it on purpose, but he couldn't speak. Fucker was like, we're just gonna get rid of all these. We're gonna start fresh. Can you promise me that you're going to get the class to do better? And my dad was, I wish you guys could see my face, but my dad had his eyes like popped open like a fucking like a bug, right? His eyes were the size of fucking car tires. And he's like, beet red, bro. Fucking sweating, right? And the guy is like, you gonna get to class, Nathaniel? I was like, yeah, Dad. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, if he's late anytime, even if it's a fucking minute, call me. I was like, ah, shit. They went to the emergency card that every person gets. He erased every fucking name on there. You get 4 names. That man put John Pippin, John.
They gave me 3.
Fucker went all the way down.
So, your dad's your early influence.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great, though.
Yeah, no, my dad was a good guy. He's still a good guy. Taught me right from wrong, you know. Kind of a hard ass, but that's any Irish family, you know.
You mind telling us what you're doing right now?
I won't say where I work in case I say something fucked up one day and you guys are like, we're going to call his company and ruin his life.
Of course.
I mean, I work for a company.
You should never dox yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm a contractor
with
for a large scale company. That's all I'm going to say.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. You know, I get paid good hours. You know, I actually almost got fired from there because there was no policy in place for something I was doing, and I was never trained. So there's 3 contractor companies in this big-ass building that we got, right? One of them takes care of our driving equipment, like our lift equipment, and they weren't there. So I worked 3rd shift. So I got a call that there was an OP down. I had to go over there and maintenance it. I had to grab something that was stuck underneath it from preventing it from driving. So I get under there and pull it out. Well, I went back to do what I was doing. There was a safety person there who didn't say anything. And I went back to doing what I was doing. The next day, my boss was like, yeah, you're probably going to get fired just because you didn't follow proper safety procedure. And I asked him, I was like, well, what's proper safety procedure? And he's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, so you're telling me I'm going to get terminated because you guys told me to do something that we're technically not even paid for, and I wasn't trained on it? And he's like, well, I don't know what the word is. I'm like, tell you what. I'm like, you go ahead and tell the big boss that runs this fucking building, if you terminate me over this bullshit, I'm going to sue you.
Did you say it quite like that, though?
I said it exactly like that. My boss, so
sure?
the boss that I had, he was a new one, and he was an assistant manager, and he was kind of a...
Timid?
Yeah, he was very timid. And I told him, I'm like, go ahead and go tell the big boss that runs this large-scale company that if you terminate me for this, I will fucking sue. And I said, this isn't a threat, this is a promise. I'm not joking. And he was like, okay. And then I didn't get fired. And they put a safety policy in place, and I told them I would never do it again. And that's how it worked. Talked to a lawyer, too.
Probably saved the company a bunch of money.
I saved everyone a lot of money, because if I wanted to, I still could have sued even though I kept my job.
Is there a statute of limitations on that?
What? Suing?
Something like that.
Well, now there is, because they put a policy in place. If they still didn't have a policy, I could have, but now they do, so I can't.
So you're tough on corporations.
I'm very... I love capitalism. I hate monopolies.
Are you feeling like we're heading towards a monopolized
We are
world?
already in a monopolized world. For example, Amazon, that is not capitalism. I do not give a fuck what anyone says. That is a monopoly. Anytime that you... Literally, what does Amazon do?
You tell me.
I will explain it to you what Amazon does. Amazon's saved a lot of companies. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is, Amazon is a giant storage facility. That's all it is. And they sell other people's product for them. Kind of like eBay.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
How
And they...
come Amazon caught on and eBay is now
eBay's
an early
online.
2000s thing.
eBay was online.
I mean, not that people don't still use eBay, of course, but, you know, that was the peak of eBay.
Oh, yeah, I
and
got
now
you.
Amazon is that and more.
Let me drop something for you. Let me hit you with this. There was a movie with Wesley Snipes and Rocky.
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone. I forgot what it was called. Demolition Man. And in the movie, the mayor of this town was like, we're going to go out to eat to Taco Bell. And everyone was like, Taco Bell? Oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the world. And the guy's like, And he was frozen in time in the early 90s up until like the year 2080. And he's like, Taco Bell? I could use a taco, whatever. So they get there, and they're pulling up to this fucking Taco Bell, and it's this giant fancy restaurant. And the guy's like, what is this? And she was like, well, during the franchise wars of blah, 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 the only person that was ever that came on top was Taco Bell. So now everywhere you go is Taco Bell. So that's how Amazon's going to be. They're going to take out Walmart. They're going to take out Costco is actually going to be the last place to ever go. They might not even go.
Why?
Because the states that Costco's are in, the state would never allow Costco to fumble.
Strong backing.
Not just that, Costco has been paying their employees like $17 an hour for like fucking forever, and the state would never allow those taxes to be torn away.
All right, last question for you. Is it true you've been thinking about running for a political office?
Yes. I most likely won't win because I'll have to defend myself every time I turn around because of this and my political viewpoints. But that's fine. See, that's the thing about politics no one understands. Everyone talks good shit, but never does anything. Like our new governor. Fix the damn roads. You know how many fucking governors in Michigan have been saying that? The last 8. You know how many governors fixed the damn roads? Not a single fucking one.
Let's just see how she does when she gets in office.
Well, I hope she does good. I really do. I really hope she does phenomenal. But the second she tries to come for my guns and my voice, we're going to have a big problem.
You want to sign us off today since you've made the big comeback?
Well, my name's Ecker.
I'm Mike.
Thanks for joining our podcast. Have a good day.